Hi, friends, family, teammates. This is Dena, our Candy Rose for those who stay. A grief and soul journey podcast in loving memory of Candace Rose Olson from 2007 to 2025. For those who stay, we remember. Her life will not be in vain. Everything we do will be in her name. I'm Dena. This is our story, and maybe it's yours too. So welcome back. Hopefully you can see a couple new items. Got my new glasses. They're working great. We're in a new environment. We're in North Carolina. Moved here a little over a month ago and absolutely love it. I haven't been on here for a little while, just trying to transition and come up with a new schedule that works best for me. And this is part of my therapy, so I'm glad I'm back. So we'll jump right into episode 7, Becoming Through It, Transformation and Grief. So there's a part of grief no one warns you about, the part where the world expects you to move on. They say it gently, they say it awkwardly, sometimes they don't say it at all, but you can feel it in the silence. But what if we're not meant to move on at all? What if healing is something completely different, something quieter, something slower, something truer? What if grief isn't a road we walk away from, but a landscape we learn how to live inside? Maybe we don't move on. Maybe we become through it. And this is the part of the story where pain begins to shape. The process of becoming, what does it look like? Grief isn't something we finish. It's not a task. It's not a phase we graduate from. Grief is something we grow with. In the beginning, I thought healing meant getting back to who I was before, finding that old version of myself again, the woman I used to be, the life I used to recognize, but she's gone. And maybe that's what loss really does. It doesn't just take what we love. It doesn't just take Candace from us. It reshapes who we are. I used to wake up every morning thinking, I just want to feel normal again. Now I understand something I couldn't see then. I was never meant to go back. I was never meant to be that same person. I was meant to become. When Candace died, the world went silent. Not metaphorically, physically. The noise of my life disappeared overnight. Plans, future versions, the way I thought time would unfold. I felt like a hollow version of myself, moving through the motions like a robot, checking the boxes, then trying to show up for Bella, for work, for everyone, except me. But luckily, I had people around me that reminded me of self-care and grace. My body showed up before my heart could. Some days, my breath felt borrowed. Some days, even standing upright felt like effort. And yet, grief has a way of whispering lessons in the quiet. Not all at once, not loudly, but patiently. It began teaching me how to breathe again. Not the deep, confident breaths I used to take, but shallow, tentative ones. How to listen to my body, to my limits, to the ache that had something to say. How to soften instead of break. And that's a fine line for me. I started noticing that the pain wasn't always an enemy. Sometimes it was the doorway, the place where compassion grew, the place where empathy deepened, the place where meaning began to take root. Grief stripped me down to the essentials, what matters, what I have control over, what doesn't matter, who stays in the moment with us, who disappears. It taught me how fragile life really is and how sacred it becomes because of that. I began to see how grief changes time. The past becomes louder, the future becomes quieter, and the present moments become everything. Some days becoming looked like surviving an hour. Some days it looked like getting out of bed. Some days it looked like laughing and feeling guilty for it. But all of it was becoming. The truth is, transformation doesn't feel beautiful while it's happening. It feels like losing everything you thought you were. It feels like standing in the wreckage, trying to recognize yourself in the pieces. But somewhere in the ache, a new self starts forming. One who knows how to hold both love and loss, joy and sorrow, the past and the future together. Not balanced, not neatly, but honestly. That's the quiet miracle of becoming through it. If you're listening and still standing in the middle of the storm, please hear this. You're not behind. You're not broken. You're not feeling grief. You're already becoming. Every breath you take in the middle of the ache is an act of courage. Every moment you choose to stay, to feel, to love, to remember, that is transformation. We don't become someone new by leaving our pain behind. We become by carrying love forward, letting it teach us how to live again. So tonight, when the ache rises in your chest, don't run from it. Place a hand there, breathe into it. Ask it gently what it's trying to make of you. Because one day, not today, not soon, but one day, you'll look back and realize this wasn't the end of your story. It was the moment you began to become. Before we close tonight, I want to share where we're going next. We're about to move into something even deeper. Next week, we're going to talk about Candace's path, not the circumstances, not the pain, but her soul's journey. You know, I like that hippy-dippy stuff. It helps me feel connected to her. The light she carried, the lessons she left behind, and the ways her story continues to unfold through the people who loved her. Because becoming isn't just something that happens inside of us, it's something we experience through the lasting presence of the ones we've lost. If episode 7 is about becoming through grief, episode 8 is about becoming with her. Thank you for listening to Our Candy Rose. For those who stay, we remember. I love you all.